Hi everyone, and welcome to our weekly wrap-up. This week, the students have been busy showing what they know on our yearly access test. As a reminder, the access test is the assessment that students who are identified as English language learners take each and every year to show their growth in English in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So this week, the students have been taking the listening, reading, and writing tests. And next week, I will be sitting down one-on-one with them to administer the speaking test. They have been working so hard to really try their best on all of the three tests that we've taken so far. And we will get the results for that assessment in the end, towards the end of the year, usually typically around the end of May. So just so you're aware. This week, we've also noticed that there's a lot of sickness going around within our building here at Post School. So just as a reminder, students should be washing their hands frequently after they've gone to the bathroom or after they've coughed or sneezed or blown their nose. I'm trying to teach the vampire cough, just so it's an easy way for the students to remember if they have to cough or sneeze, they should cough like this. So that way the germs are contained kind of into one area versus being spread out into the whole classroom community. Our tables get wiped down regularly, so we're trying to do our best in here in the classroom to keep it clean. But if your child is sick, please remember that they need to be fever-free or vomit-free for 24 hours before they return back to school. If they're sick, or even if they're not sick, it's a good idea this weekend to wash their clothes, maybe wash their hats, gloves, coats, mittens, scarves, that kind of stuff, just to kind of get those germs away so that we can start February fresh and clean and ready and healthy. In February, you should have already noticed in their report cards last week, as well as on the Sign Up Genius, that February conferences are taking place on the 13th, Thursday the 13th. Thank you to those of you that have already signed up. If you haven't already, please do so. If you would like a conference, the February conferences are optional, so if you don't feel a conference is necessary, then that's fine. You can just let me know that you don't feel like we need a conference. Otherwise, I will reach out to you if I feel like we do. So I look forward to touching base with you and just sharing the growth and the progress that your students have made here in the classroom, just so that we can continue building our partnership. This week in the classroom, due to our access testing, our schedule has been a little bit disrupted, and so we haven't focused as much on reading and writing and social studies and math, but we've been fitting it in here or there. And so with math this week, the students have been practicing place value. For first grade, they are working on place value to the ones and the tens place. And for second grade, their expectation is ones, tens, and hundreds. So we've been all practicing with that in the classroom this week. We also had the opportunity yesterday to connect digitally through our computer with a class in New Jersey. And so this week we've been, with our class in New Jersey, we've been looking at the book called The Empty Pot. And it's about an emperor who is looking for his successor. And he gives the children seeds, and he says, whoever brings me the most beautiful flower will then be able to will then be able to be the next emperor. And so the students looked for what the lesson is or was in that folk tale, and then they were able to connect yesterday with our class from New Jersey to talk about what they learned from that folk tale, if they think they would have acted the same way as the character in the folk tale, and as they also looked at some other folk tales and shared what they learned from that and what we can learn from different stories. So the students had a really great time seeing this class that we've connected with a few times up on the screen, and it was fun to ask them questions and hear their answers, and it was fun to hear them ask us questions and for us to be able to use the computer to answer them. So we love this connection that we've been able to make with these other students in New Jersey, and the connection that it's providing us, so we can see the things that are the same here in Illinois versus there in New Jersey. We also have been looking at communities in social studies, and so our connection was nice for that as well. And so actually tonight you will see coming home this blue paper. Here it's a packet, actually it's 2 pages stapled. And so this is a little community scavenger hunt just for fun. It is not required that you do it, but the students have been looking at what communities are. And so communities are places that have people, places and activities, excuse me. And so the students have been looking at where the 3 different types of communities that there are, so urban, suburban, and rural, where we live here in the suburbs, what we have. And so this is just a community scavenger hunt. And so it tells you, like, go and visit some of these places like the post office or a restaurant or a store, the library, and visit those places and see if you can meet someone that works there and learn a little bit about them. Again, it's not required to do, but if you do go to visit any of those places, you could just have the child color it in, see if you could collect something or take a picture, and you can share it with me through Class Dojo or through email, and I will share it here in the classroom and let the kids talk about their experience. Again, it's not required, but if it's something you would like to do, you're welcome to, because it just enhances what we're learning here in the classroom, just out in the real world outside. Other than that, it's been a really great week, and I look forward to getting back to our regularly scheduled February next week, since access testing will be over. Have a great weekend.